Hi, this is Dana, and on this channel I speak about spiritual warfare. I have another channel on astrology and a Facebook page on which I wrote prophetic writings, and you will find that in the description box below. As the usual caveat, there are individuals who are impersonating me, stealing my identity, using my name, my image, my identity to do harm, to do fraudulent activity, criminal activity. Please do not engage with them. They are under investigation from authorities, and just avoid, because they are doing heavy dark magic, witchcraft, sorcery, voodoo, and all sorts of sacrifice rituals and so on. So if you engage with them, a lot of darkness will literally come from these individuals. So don't engage with them. Now, I have two things for this video. I have the topic which God gave me, and that is about glamour spells. And I have a question from the comment section, which I will answer at the end. Now, the topic God asked me to talk about is glamour spells. I'm not quite sure if I mentioned already some of this information in other videos. I have somehow the feeling that I spoke about this. God says I have to speak about it in this video. So, glamour spell basically is a spell which they do in order to alter your perception. It affects your perception of an individual, of a situation, of opportunities, of offers you receive, of choices you have to make, on one hand. On another hand, the perception of yourself, of the chances you stand. On the second hand, the second part which I'm discussing, it's much deeper type of spell which affects your belief system. Yeah. And glamour magic is used for both situations. So your self-perception, if they affect that, then it has an impact on your determination and on your power to stand in your truth and to pursue your path, and not only overall your path, but specific situations that you have to deal with. Yeah. So this is it can have a very dramatic impact. Glamour magic as well, and this is something God asked me to say, that this part of the message is specifically for the people from justice system. Glamour magic, it can bend your will and the emotions you harbor towards someone. Like, they can make you to be more empathic to somebody who doesn't deserve empathy. They can make you give undeserved forgiveness. They can make you feel like they have some sort of excuse for something they've done, or they can simply make you feel like you would be generous with that person and you would give them more chances. They can make anything with glamour magic. Perception is extremely important in everything. Or in all of these circumstances, perception is the determinant factor which will tilt the balance in your decision making, in your understanding of the situation, in your control over your own energy. Yeah, this is extremely important. God has guided me to talk about this, describing all of the situation. Now, the second part would be that I will explain to you how energetically is being created. There was a lot of glamour magic done against me, and I could notice, but I couldn't understand for a long time how it works, how they create this. So I will understand how to clean it, of course, energetically. And at some point, I don't remember exactly when, probably a year ago or something like this, I discovered how it works. Yeah, how they do this. And because I could notice I knew what opinion I have about an individual. I knew what feelings I have, animosity mostly, because she was attacking me constantly and so on, and she was impersonating me and so on. So I had a very bad opinion of her. She was one of the doppelgangers using my identity. So of course I didn't have a good opinion of her. But somehow she was, not only she, many of them were doing glamour magic on me, and I could feel the difference in the energy. And I kept asking God, how did she do this? How she infiltrated this energy? How is this created? And it took a while to me in order to learn that it's called glamour magic. Then it took another while for me to understand how it actually works on the human body. So I will understand how you can actually clean it up. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to share with you now. So it's been a long process for me, and it's very, very important. God actually is whispering to me right now to say that you can only learn about this information at a certain stage in your evolution and bondage breaking. So I was only able to learn how it works after I reached a certain stage in bondage breaking, and I elevated up to a certain level. Yeah. So I'm sharing this to you with you now because it's very important in your spiritual fighting, and God keeps whispering to me, and for the justice system, because they do glamour magic on justice system. It literally works what you feel, unless you have a good grip on reading your own energy. What you feel like you're under a spell, hypnosis kind of energy. Yeah. But I will share with you how it actually works in human bodies, so you'll understand. To find your way to clean it from your energy. That's why I'm sharing. Okay, so what happens? There's individuals who are specialized in this, and they are able to reach to your brain, specifically to the area of your brain, which is usually at the beginning of the crown chakra, at the back of your head, yeah, right next to pituitary gland, yeah, right next to pituitary gland. It's the side of the brain which deals with imagination, because also for the imagination the pituitary gland helps. Yeah. It's your dreams, your fantasies, your whatever you imagine. Also it's this has a critical role in manifestation power, because you will be able to manifest to the extent to which you're capable of imagining that thing. Yeah. And your willpower will depend on it. Okay. So that is where basically the attack happens. It is done by these individuals who worship the owl. I explained in another video. These individuals who worship the owl literally carry on attacks on brain level, and they use necromancy a lot. Yeah. So this is very important. About how necromancy is done, I already spoke in another video. Please watch previous videos. So the individual who does glamour magic, basically, if he's skilled enough, he can do it himself. If he's not skilled enough, he can work with different low-level entities, including the owl, to create that. Yeah. And literally what happens in the human body is that they implant this, they create this energy implant in that area, basically in the aura of that area, which I explained, the imagination, because this is what they desire. And what actually they do, they alter your perception of something, of someone. So even if you think, like I explained the situation before, I knew my opinion of this woman. First of all, before even I learned that she's a doppelganger copying me, I thought she's a stupid hoe. Literally, honestly, I just literally, I knew she was sending a lot of sexual energy attacks at me. I didn't know at the time that she was copying me, but I literally thought she's a stupid hoe because she was behaving like a stupid hoe, you know. So, but then she, at certain point, she would encounter me when I was in my courtyard or so, and it was obvious to me that it was an energy work that she was doing, but I didn't understand how she was doing it in such a way that if I wouldn't have been aware and I wouldn't have had a very strong belief system in knowing exactly what I feel for someone, not allowing to be fooled, she would have succeeded to trick me into thinking she's a nice person, by energy. I'm not even talking about discussions or anything. And I was like, I could actually see the energy that she was sending, and I was asking, how is this done? Why is she capable of doing this? Because I know exactly what I feel about her. And it was sending like sort of like alluring type of energy into, at least this is what she was sending to me. They can send other things, of having a good opinion about her, finding a compassion for her, which I don't. Honestly, I don't find any compassion for her. I think she's a stupid hoe, and she belongs behind bars in prison. She stole money from me. She signed my signature on official documents to use accounts. She opened accounts, bank accounts in my name. She stole my money. I cannot even explain to you how much harm this woman has done. She will end up in prison because she's under investigation. So I'm only giving you these details so you'll understand that there was no fucking way I would find compassion for her or sympathy or any kind of friendship, you know? And this is why I was actually even more irritated by the energy she was sending. I was like, why is she capable to send this? Because I know exactly who she is. She's been harassing my family. She's been calling for years my father in Bucharest, harassing him, making accusations and threats and so on. So she's been really, really bad presence, to say the least, for me. And obviously obsessed with doing harm to me since day one when she saw me. But I'm only telling you this so you'll understand what kind of power it has. And that you should be a good observer so you will feel the difference when this kind of energy comes your way. And what they do, they implant this energy, they do this energy implant basically into your imagination. In order to alter your perception. At the same time, at the lower back of your head, the nervous system, there is, and you can Google this so you can find the information on Google, there is a place in the cerebral, the nervous system location, there is a certain lobe which is actually dedicated entirely to self-perception. Perception in general, but self-perception mostly. So they attack these two parts of your brain. And what they do, they plant into your mind these ideas which they want to achieve, either compassion or sympathy or empathy or pity or even worse, they can plant, for example, the idea of you wanting to help, to protect, to defend, to help, to whatever. They can plant any idea. So they plant this idea in your and energy, essentially it's an energy in your these two places in your brain, and they do this on subconscious level. It is not done on conscious level. It's an energy attack. And basically, once they succeed to get this, they do this during dream time, they do this through levitation during the day, they do this through combined mirror magic and glamour magic, a lot of methods they use. And most importantly is that when they succeed to actually plant this idea in your subconscious level, basically it's like they bind themselves through this to your brain. And what they do is they project onto others how you see that person or how you see that situation. So if you on subconscious level accept this programming, because this is how you can call it, this programming, this implant, energy implant, which they put in your brain, and you embrace whatever idea they want to plant into you, literally they use you as a vessel in order to project onto others the same idea. God has specifically instructed me to talk about the fact that there are certain individuals who are elevated energetically and spiritually, and they have the role of leaders. These are the individuals who have divine rights to lead people, not the creeps which are now in politics and in all sorts of organizations, but individuals who actually have divine rights for leadership. This is why divine rights for leadership are offered only to certain individuals, only to those who actually will lead the people the right way, not into corruption and crime. Yeah. And the energy of such an individual who is created and it reached the level of leadership, basically God has instructed me to explain that the energy of that individual draws people to follow him, not to feed on him. It's very different. To follow him. So the leader has a quality, a specific quality. You can call it charisma. You can call it whatever you want. The point is they have a leading quality, a quality of leading people. Yeah, and energetically, other people are drawn to them. Usually, God has shown to me are drawn to them those people who are supposed to follow Him. Yeah, this is all about energy. So they will share similar type of energy, and they will feel drawn to that individual, to follow him, and they will admire him, would want to whatever work with him, whatever. The point is, since you have this quality, this is why certain people are targeted, because if you have divine rights for leadership, they know already this. They create the bondages, of generational curse and so on. They steal that right from you, specifically for this reason, because you will not have to make a lot of efforts in order to get people to follow you. People will follow you naturally. It's because of the energy, because you already have that knowledge on your subconscious, on your supraconscious level, and your higher self, and so on. So they will follow you automatically when you start leading, of course, not if you sit on yourself. If you start leading and doing things, they will find in you an example, and they will feel drawn to you, and not to copy you, but to be inspired by you. Okay, and for this reason, basically, this is why they target these individuals, because they want to use this power you have. Yeah, so if they succeed to plant this kind of ideas into your brain, and you are a leader, they will get to project the same idea onto all the people who are drawn to you, all the people who actually feel drawn to follow you. Yeah. And this is how they do glamour magic. And basically what they do, because I studied this for a while with God, and I made exercises to see how what you need is to reverse it. This is what you ask. I asked God, please give me resurrection, healing on my brain level, on my perception on my energy awareness, on my perception is very important, because whatever is done for glamour magic then is connected to your perception. You have to understand. So I would ask this, and then I will say I reverse this spell of glamour magic, because after you do some exercises, you start detecting what kind of energy is associated to glamour magic, especially if you deal with certain people about whom you know exactly what your opinion, and you feel like the energy doesn't correspond to your opinion about that individual. Then at the end, you just say, I reverse this glamour magic done on me. And I claim back my power, I claim back my correct perception with divine healing of resurrection. And you will see the distinction. So literally, they put this in you in order to use you and project it onto others. This is how glamour magic works. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. This is basically the glamour magic. It is very subtle, and it's very weird kind of way. Again, there are individuals who actually have the knowledge how to do this, but also there are individuals who work sending a lot of dark entities to you in order to achieve this. So there are different type of I don't know all the types, how many types are actually. I only found two of them, two types of practice in order to create that. And I invite you to, because most of us are victims of glamour magic here in 3D. This is how they create the deception in 3D. I invite you to choose certain individuals whom you suspect that they have done glamour magic on you, and try to do this exercise so you can observe your energy and you see how this fluctuates and changes. Yeah. This is important. And again, I will say once more, God guided me to say that this is specifically for justice system, this information that I'm providing. Not that it's not useful for others, but it's very important, because if somebody alters the perception of a judge or somebody in law enforcement or justice system, that is dramatic, because that individual will not make justice anymore. And of course it's a spell, but they need to learn how to fight it, because this is where we live at this point. This is where our assignment is, and we need to move forward in spite of their attacks. So yeah. Okay, now this is about glamour magic. This is really important message, and I hope everyone who needs to hear this will hear it, because and it's really painful if you are not aware of how it works. For me, it was really painful, because it's impinging on your free will, and it's like, I don't know how to say, like somebody is forcing you to eat something which you refuse to eat, you know. And it becomes really brutal, the conflict between your energy and the energy which is being sent. I must say that some of them are done subtle in combination with other type of dark magic, but some of them become really brutal. I must say, in my experience, that when I say brutal, it means pain. Yeah, this is what I felt, pain in my energy body, because there were individuals who were forcing ideas on me, and to me it was clear that that's not my energy, that's not my idea, but they were forcefully pushing that. Okay, now moving on, because I don't want to postpone this. I found a question in the comments section, and basically someone asked if I can speak about addiction on weed. Now, I have a prophetic I think many, not just one, prophetic writings talking about addictions. And I have said there, all addictions, I have studied this, all addictions, all of them, are created by attachment, by darkness. It's nothing, no, there's no addiction natural in you. You must understand this. And I have worked with individuals, especially my spiritual journey, and I discussed with them, I helped them to do bondage breaking, and I proved to them this, that they were not addicted to anything. It was a generational curse on his lineage. And I helped that individual in Lima, I was in Lima, and I helped that individual to discover the pattern and what was the line of the lineage from which this curse came, you know. So every addiction, everything, it's generated by attachments, darkness attachments, which can be created in different ways. It can be a generational curse which has been perpetuated for many generations, from your father, from your grandfather, and so on. Yeah, it can be a temporary work, not necessarily a generational curse, but a temporary bondage created on you by somebody. These people are very crazy. Some of them are just really possessed by darkness, and they hate you because they don't succeed to bend your will and to force you to do things. And then they start doing all of this crap to you. You know, I cannot even tell you how many curses they made on me. I cannot even explain to you. In my spiritual journey, they made a curse on me because one of these hoes who is using my identities as is connected with all of these creeps to do gang stalking at me, she was very jealous and hateful at me. God has shown to me. She was very hateful and jealous at me because of whatever they were discussing in these groups. So she cursed me. So my clothes, because I was in the spiritual journey and I was receiving compliments for my clothes. It was something really stupid. I was just dressed normally, casually, nothing elegant. I was with my dog and two big luggages traveling. I wasn't dressed elegantly, but when you're crazy and you're envious on somebody, it doesn't really matter. They can even have dirt on them. You still think they are too well off. It should be worse for them, you know. So she cursed me that my clothes will break. So basically, throughout my spiritual journey, I would buy clothes in every city where I went, and I would just wear them once and they will break off. And I couldn't understand why. I was like, this is new. Why is this happening? And God said, because this one put a curse on you, because she's jealous, because she wants to be with this man, and this man says he wants to be with you, and all this stupid shit. So addictions can be created, and demons and attachments can be sent to you in many different ways by people who really don't have a reason to do this, but they are just crazy like this, you know. So if you're dealing with addictions, you need to do bondage breaking. You need to understand why you have this addiction, who sent it to you, what type of occult practices or ritualic practices work used. You have to identify the individual. You must understand if it's a generational curse or is it just a temporary bondage. And you must break the bondage, really. And you must heal energetically, because any addiction, the problem with addictions is that, first of all, they keep the darkness in you. You don't release the darkness. So it's a very deep wound in your energetic field. Yeah, this is one problem. Another problem is that if you hold that addiction for a long time and you feed it, you create patterns of behavior. And again, that is very different. It's a deep wound in your energetic field. That means you need a lot of healing on that and a lot of willpower to exercise willpower, so you will stop it. Moreover, as all of this that I have described now means darkness, which is in your energy body, this lowers your vibration and makes you vulnerable to lower level entities which will come to feed on you, even if nobody sends them. Okay? More than that, you will become accessible. First of all, you're not going to have the same level of power. Second, you're going to become available to gang stalking, to telepathy, artificial telepathy at you, and so much more. Because you have a low vibration, because you have this darkness, which you must heal, basically, in order to elevate and to get rid of it. So you need to do a lot of work on it. I can tell you, for example, I don't know about weed. I don't know under what circumstances you started to use weed, so I can understand what are the connections and so on. I never used weed in my life. The only addiction that I ever had has been cigarettes, and I did quit twice. And last time I quit for 7 years, exactly for the same reason, because it was bothering me that I was addicted to it. I didn't like having an addiction. I felt like I was in Germany, and I was attending different conferences, which would last a full day. And at every break time, I would need to go outside to have a cigarette because there were very long sessions between breaks. And for this reason, I had to go through all security filters and to take my purse out and everything take out of my purse because it was already a security issue in Germany at that point. So it took me such a long time and I was wasting so much time. And I literally just decided I want to quit. I said, it's not normal that a piece of shit is controlling me this much, that I need to go through all of these horrible checkups in so many filters in order to get out of MFA. It would take me like 15 minutes just to get out, and then another 15 minutes to come back. So it was annoying me. It got to a point when it was annoying me because there were some negotiations and I was like, I wanted to stay in the room to talk with certain individuals from other countries and to establish a common strategy. And I couldn't because I was addicted. I needed a cigarette. I couldn't focus without it, So I was like, this is not okay. The fact that I'm not capable of focusing without this shows me that the addiction is too high and I need to cut this off, basically. So I decided to quit and I quit. But it was really, really hard, really hard. It was some time in which I couldn't focus at all. To even write one report, it was a pain for me. Basic was really painful. Because I was used with having the planning session, the brainstorming for the report. Usually I would smoke and have a coffee to do that, and I would take notes before I would start writing the report. And now since I didn't have the cigarette, I couldn't focus. It was really bad. And let me tell you this. I recently discovered, for example, and God is showing me to share this last bit with you. Recently I switched from commercial cigarettes which you purchase from commerce. Stai cu minte. And sorry, this was my dog. There's a small puppy which I took inside and he tends to come to me when I speak. So I blocked his passage to me so I can make the videos. Okay, so God has guided me to show you. Recently I switched to rolling tobacco. Because God showed me that this is important. This is one step towards giving up cigarettes. And I switched from cigarettes from commerce to cigarettes which you make rolling tobacco. I'm still struggling to roll tobacco because I'm just exercising. This is the first time when I do this. But I didn't know why God recommended me to do this. I heard others saying that it's healthier, this tobacco that you roll yourself. I didn't know exactly, but as I did this right now, I discovered in my energy, I discovered that actually the cigarettes you purchase from commerce, they have an attachment, an addiction to it, because there was totally different energy for me from one type of cigarette to tobacco rolling. And I checked, I investigated this, and I discovered what they do. They use spirits attached to the plants used in these cigarettes. Listen to me, if you can imagine. And I asked God why they do this. In order to create addiction in you, to force you to buy more, and to force you to smoke more and more and more and more. And God has shown to me that there are certain spirits attached to certain plants. So it depends what kind of cigarettes you use. And literally the type of darkness attack which I used to encounter when I was using cigarettes from commerce. Now, as I smoke this tobacco rolled, is not the same. It doesn't exist anymore. I can feel there are some sort of spirits attached to this one too, but it's not as powerful. And for example, it's a totally different location. It's on the nervous system. Yeah. I'm sorry. I somehow all of the sudden yawned, so I imagine that there was a healing which God has performed on me because I said all of this. You know, since I discovered this, I'm telling you, these people are so crazy. I discovered this only recently in my research about cigarettes. And I already received threats by Levitation telling me not to say this publicly, you know, of course, because they have a lot to lose. But I'm not the one to be bullied or intimidated or afraid to share information if God shows me that information must be shared. So of course I'm sharing it with others because it's important that everyone knows. And I guess this is why now I released that darkness which they've been sending to me. So I will not talk about this. Okay, I'm done now because it's already 35 minutes. I also don't have much memory left on my card, so I want to close early the messages. This is the message related to addiction. Everything is created by an attachment sent to you. There's no natural addiction in you, nothing. And you can actually investigate yourself in order to receive answers and to understand. I'm not quite sure about the weed exactly how it functions because I never tried it, and I wouldn't try it just so I will understand how it works. I don't even know why people use weed. I know that some people use different type of drugs in order to get connected to astral, to do astral projection. I know, for example, I learned in Peru that these individuals who actually have certain ceremonies of doing all of this. It is my belief that it's all fake. You don't need any drug in order to connect to God. And this is fake knowledge, and those are not shamans who are doing this. If they do all these drugs and all this madness. And again, addictions are very important to heal because they are very deep wounds. And because of that, they will draw more darkness to you and they will always keep you down in a lower vibration. All addictions, and I mean all addictions, everything, you must focus on identifying exactly what type of demon, spirit, or whatever was sent to you. I am stopping here now because it's 37 minutes, okay? Let me know if you need more information.